There is a war happening inside your body. And it is happening right now, at this exact moment, whether you just ate a salad or a cheeseburger. The outcome of that war determines whether you store fat or burn it. You've been doing everything right. You're eating cleaner, you're skipping dessert, you're watching your portions. But here's what nobody told you. Your body isn't listening to what you eat. It's listening to when, and in what order, you eat it. You could eat the exact same meal, same calories, same macros, same food, and depending on which bite goes in first, your body will store it as fat. Or burn it for fuel. You probably think fat loss is about choosing the right foods, and I get it. That's what every nutritionist, every diet book, every food label has ever told you. But Japanese researchers spent over a decade, 2010 to 2025, running controlled clinical trials on this exact question. And what they found completely destroyed the idea that what you eat is the most important variable. The most important variable is the order. You could eat perfectly organic. You could count every calorie. You could do 45 minutes of cardio. And if you eat your rice, your bread, or your pasta first, your body releases a hormone that locks your fat cells shut. The door to fat burning closes. And your effort means nothing. This is about one hormone, insulin. More specifically, the postprandial insulin surge, the spike that happens in the 30 to 60 minutes after your very first bite. When insulin is high, your body cannot burn fat. Biologically impossible. The fat burning switch is off. And here's what I need you to hear before we go any further. This is not your fault. It is not a willpower problem. It is not a metabolism problem. It is not genetics. Your belly has not been listening to your discipline. It has been listening to your insulin curve. Today, I'm going to show you the exact meal sequencing protocol, backed by 6 peer-reviewed Japanese clinical trials, that flattens that insulin curve by up to 45%. Not motivation, not willpower, molecular biology. And by the end of this video, you will never eat in the same order again. This isn't about calories. This isn't about macros. This isn't even about what you eat. This is about one hormonal mechanism, the postprandial insulin surge, and the order of your food controls it completely. And mainstream nutrition has never once told you this. For 200,000 years, insulin was the single most important survival hormone in the human body. Imagine our ancestors. No refrigerator, no grocery store, no guaranteed next meal. When carbohydrates arrived, from fruit, from wild roots, insulin's job was critical. Capture every last calorie, store it, lock it down, survive until the next meal. Insulin wasn't a villain. It was a genius biological emergency response. But here's the problem. Your biology has not updated its software in 10,000 years. Your environment has changed completely. There's no famine coming. There's another meal in 4 hours. But your insulin response? It still fires as if winter is coming, and this rice bowl might be the last food on Earth. 3 carbohydrates, first meals a day, keeps insulin elevated for 60 to 90 minutes per meal. That's potentially 4 to 5 hours per day, where your body is biologically forbidden from burning fat. Here's the exact mechanism. When carbohydrates reach your small intestine, they break down into glucose and absorb rapidly into the bloodstream. Your pancreas detects the surge and releases insulin as a response. Insulin is essentially a key, but one that locks the fat cell door in the wrong direction. Instead of unlocking the door to let fat out, it locks the door to keep fat in. Fat oxidation, fat burning, is suppressed the moment insulin rises above threshold. But here's what the Japanese researchers discovered. If you eat dietary fiber first, then protein and fat, then carbohydrates last. The fiber forms a physical barrier in your small intestine, a viscous gel mesh that slows glucose absorption. And the protein and fat eaten second trigger incretin hormones, GLP-1 and GIP, that tell the stomach to slow gastric emptying before the carbohydrates even arrive. Glucose trickles in instead of flooding in. Insulin rises gently, not violently. The fat-burning door stays open. The most important question at every meal is not what am I eating? It's what am I eating first? Because the food that goes in first sets the entire hormonal stage for the next 2 hours. First bite in, insulin fate sealed. Step 1. Eat your vegetables first, the fiber gate. Most people eat their salad or vegetables as a side, something they pick at between bites, or push to the end of the plate. That's the first mistake, and it costs you everything. If carbohydrates hit your small intestine first, rice, bread, pasta, potato, glucose floods the bloodstream within minutes. Insulin spikes within 15 to 30 minutes. Fat burning is shut down. and it stays shut down for the next 60 to 90 minutes no matter what you do after. But when you eat vegetables first, soluble fiber from broccoli, spinach, tomatoes, and leafy greens binds with water in your gut and forms a viscous gel. Think of it as wrapping the inside of your intestinal wall in a slow-release filter. When carbohydrates arrive later, they hit that filter instead of bare intestinal wall, and glucose absorption slows dramatically. In Dr. Seiko Imai's 2023 study at Kyoto Women's University, eating vegetables first reduced the peak glucose spike by up to 45.5%, even when eating faster than normal. Eat every vegetable on your plate before you touch anything else. Every time, at every meal. This isn't decoration. This is your hormonal foundation for the next 2 hours. By the way, if you've never heard any of this before, this is exactly what this channel is about. I break down fat loss and metabolism through molecular biology and real clinical research, so you stop guessing and start understanding exactly how your body works. If that's what you want, hit subscribe right now. Okay, step 2 is the one that surprises everyone. Step 2. Eat protein and fat second. The Incretin Trigger. Most people eat their protein and carbohydrates simultaneously. A bite of chicken, a bite of rice, repeat. Or worse, they save the protein for last. Without protein arriving before carbohydrates, a specific set of gut hormones never gets activated in the right sequence. No activation means no gastric break. Carbohydrates race through your stomach into your intestine at full speed. Insulin doesn't get a warning, it gets hit with a wave. Here's what nobody talks about. When protein and fat arrive in your stomach before carbohydrates, they trigger the release of 2 incretin hormones, GLP-1 and GIP, essentially traffic controllers for your digestive system. They tell your stomach, slow down, don't release this food into the intestine yet. This delays gastric emptying, which means carbohydrates are released into the small intestine in a slow, controlled trickle rather than a flood. The 2025 CGM study from Japan, using continuous glucose monitors on healthy adults, confirmed protein and fat eaten before carbohydrates produced significantly lower postprandial glucose levels across the entire 4-hour window. Eat your egg, chicken, fish, tofu, nuts, or avocado before your rice, bread, or pasta. Even 5 minutes of protein and fat eating before your first carbohydrate activates this incretin response. Step 3. Eat carbohydrates last. The insulin reset. I know you love starting with a bite of bread. I know the rice is calling your name. This is where people lose it. This is where everyone wants to argue with me. But hear me out. By the time your carbohydrates arrive last, your body has had a 2-stage preparation. Stage 1, the fiber gate has been constructed. Stage 2, the incretin braking system is activated. Now the carbohydrates enter a gut that is biologically ready for them. Dr. Seiko Imai's original 2010 Japanese crossover study, published in the Journal of the Japan Diabetes Society, measured serum insulin levels of patients eating the same meal in different orders. Eating vegetables before rice reduced serum insulin by 25 to 35% at the 30 and 60-minute marks. 25 to 35% less insulin, same meal, different order. That is not a small number. That is the difference between a body that spends the next hour burning fat versus locking it away. Carbohydrates go last, always. Rice, bread, pasta, potatoes, whatever it is. You are not avoiding them, you are timing them strategically. Step 4. Slow down at the start. The 10-chew rule. There's a second mechanism most people completely miss. It's not just about order, it's about the pace of your first food. The 2023 Kyoto Women's University study tested 3 conditions: fast eating with vegetables first, slow eating with vegetables first, and slow eating with carbohydrates first. The critical finding: fast eating with vegetables first still produced better glucose and insulin outcomes than slow eating with carbohydrates first. The order matters more than the speed, but chewing the vegetables slowly maximizes the fiber's ability to hydrate and form that gel lining before carbohydrates arrive. You don't have to turn every meal into a meditation practice. Just slow the first few bites of your vegetables, 10 chews per bite. That's enough to build the gel barrier that changes everything. Step 5. Do this consistently. This isn't just about your next meal. This compounds. In 2022, researchers at Kajiyama Clinic in Kyoto published a 5-year clinical trial, 333 patients with type 2 diabetes. 196 patients practiced the vegetables first, carbohydrates last protocol at every meal for 5 years. 137 did not. The intervention group showed a 0.9% reduction in HbA1c, long-term blood sugar control measured across 3-month averages. The control group showed a 0.1% increase, a full 1% difference in HbA1c over 5 years from one simple dietary habit. More striking, the control group saw significant increases in dyslipidemia and arteriosclerosis. Their arteries literally hardened more. The intervention group showed no such increase. This isn't a hack. This is a fundamental biological lever that gets more powerful the longer you pull it. Now, before you run to the kitchen and rearrange your plate, stop. Because here's where most people make the critical mistake. They change the order, but they change the ratio at the same time. They think, I'm eating vegetables first now, so I can have more rice at the end. Wrong. Completely wrong. The food order protocol does not neutralize a large carbohydrate load. The fiber gate and the incretin break reduce the insulin spike, but they do not eliminate it. If you eat twice the carbohydrates because you feel protected by the order, you have canceled your benefit. The rule is absolute. Maintain your normal carbohydrate portion. Change only the order. This is not permission to eat more starch. It is a hormonal sequencing tool, not a carbohydrate neutralizer. Here is the complete protocol you can use starting at your very next meal. Eat all your vegetables first, every last one on the plate. Then eat your protein and fat, meat, fish, eggs, tofu, cheese, nuts, avocado. Then and only then, begin your carbohydrates, rice, bread, pasta, potato. Chew slowly at the start, 10 chews per bite of vegetables. Let the fiber work. Apply this order at every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, no exceptions. These 5 steps are not about restriction, they are about signaling. You are signaling to your small intestine to build a glucose filter before the carbohydrates arrive. You are signaling to your stomach's incretin system to slow gastric emptying before the glucose flood. You are signaling to your pancreas to release insulin gradually, not violently. You are signaling to your fat cells, the door stays open today. When you stack these signals consistently, the body responds. By your next meal, glucose spike reduced by up to 45%. By day 3, the afternoon crash starts to fade. You're not reaching for sugar at 3 p.m. By week 2, you're eating the same food but consuming fewer calories without even trying, because stable insulin means stable hunger. By week 8, reduced bloating, cleaner energy, the scale begins to move. By year 5, your arteries are literally healthier. Your long-term blood sugar markers have shifted. You don't get the afternoon crash. By lunch, you are not ravenous. By 3 p.m., you are not looking for sugar. By dinner, you have consumed 30 to 40% fewer calories without even trying. Fat loss becomes a side effect, not the goal. Before I give you the close, I want to hear from you. Comment below. Which of these 5 steps are you implementing first? Tell me which one surprised you the most. I genuinely want to know. I read every single comment. And if this has been useful, hit the like button right now.